to our very first episode of Conquering Moments. I am your host, Chandra Hernandez. My husband and I pastor Highest Praise Fellowship. And today I am joined with my three very special women in my life, my daughter-in-laws, Allie, Chandra, and Jessica Hernandez. We wanted our first episode to be centered around family, faith, and ministry, and the real-life moments that shape us as women walking through life together. So come, join me at the table. I am so excited to be here at the table with my favorite people in my life. So, Allie, are you excited about today's story?
Yeah, it's good to be here. I'm excited that we're starting this off. I know it's been a long time coming. You've had this vision for a long time, and so I'm really proud of you for stepping out and making this happen.
Yes.
Good to be here.
Jessica, you excited?
I am. I'm really excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for people to hear what they have to say, and I just love to have these conversations. Sure.
Chandra.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. As my sisters were saying, we're super proud of you for fulfilling what God's called you to do, and we're excited to hear what He has.
It's been definitely quite a mountain that we have climbed to get here. 6 years ago, I wanted to start this, and we had project after project, and finally we're able to fulfill this dream, birth this baby into action. So girls, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about your life? I mean, just who you are and who you're married to and your children.
Sure. Well, my name's Allie, and my husband is Eric Hernandez. It's Pastor Rob and Cheryl's oldest son, and we've been married for a long time. And we have two children, and we serve in the ministry here, mostly with praise and worship, and I work in healthcare administration, and I think that's it about me.
Jessica.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Jessica, and I am married to, obviously, your youngest son, Bobby. So we have two kids. We've been married for 14 years. So I have been coming here for about 16, 17 years, I guess I would say.
But she was 15. I know all my daughter-in-laws joined us at 15.
We were babies. Yes. So that's what we do. So we're both working, and kids in school and sports. So
what do you do?
I'm a teacher. So I am a third grade teacher. I've been teaching for 13 years. My husband's a fireman. So
awesome.
Yeah. I'm Chandra Hernandez. I am married to Sean, the middle one. We have been married for 19 years. We have 3 beautiful children. Riley is 13 and the twins are 10. I own Mountain High Nutrition, and I get to serve our community with healthy drinks and healthy food.
That is so awesome. God is so good that He has blessed me with all of you. I have 3 boys, and it was, I've always wanted a daughter, and I got 3 beautiful ones right now. And I get to enjoy my girls and they're my grandchildren. So I have 7 all together. What a blessing. They're all a blessing. They're all different personalities, right? So, I want you guys to tell us a little bit what ministry has taught you. Doing ministry, working at the hospital, being wife, all the different things going on in your life. Tell us about ministry.
Yeah, I've had a lot of different experiences in ministry, everything from children's ministry to like praise and worship and, women's. I feel like I've probably tried it all except for men's, obviously. But I really enjoy ministry a lot. I've learned a lot about myself and, some things that I've even taken with me into my career path. I think the most important thing that I've learned from ministry has been teamwork and how to, come together for a common goal and make beautiful things happen and make an impact, hopefully, in people's lives because of that teamwork. So I've enjoyed that the most, getting to know the people in the church and in the ministry.
I remember when we first met, Eric brought you home from a school, we're having a little party for the drama team or music, and she came to our house and showed up, and it was like, who is this girl?
And I never wanted to leave.
She was 15 years old when we met her, and she came to church and just was hungry for the Lord. It was great teaching her Bible studies, and it was a great experience. So, Jessica, what behind the scenes with the family, how would you describe that?
Well, my family personally, we're very busy. Obviously, we're both working parents. We have 2 kids. We take them to school, and then we do after-school activities with them as well. And and then as a whole, as a family, I think obviously we're all very busy because we're all branched off in these different areas in our lives with our kids. And then, but I think what I love about our family is that we try to find that connection with each other. We try to make time to find that connection with each other so we can stay grounded with each other as a family.
I know you girls do special things together and hang out and really try to make that personal time. And I think that's really important for families if you don't do it, especially for my daughter-in-laws. They treat each other like sisters, and I think the key is making time for yourselves. And I think that's very special. And I think, if you guys are strong, the boys are going to be strong. I'm going to be happy. And so, I think it's just a ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. What is the hardest season, Chandra, that you ever walked through, whether it be at home, whether it be through ministry? I mean, both, because, there's good times at home and there's trials that we go through. Life happens, and then we have church, and then and there's trials there too. And people think that we just live like a television life, that this is our life and this is all you see. But there's more to life than that.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of times people have a misconception about being believers, that we just live this hunky-dory, all butterflies type of life. I do believe within ministry, to answer your question, it's really hard because we see in the background as sisters and also your boys as your sons, we see you and dad going through a lot of different changes in ministry and how much you pour into everyone. Sometimes it's really painful. You have those moments of seeing people leave, seeing people come. You have those that stay committed, you have those that just pass through. And as I know, I don't know if I could speak for everyone, but I know as a daughter, seeing your parents go through something like that is very hard to see. So in ministry, it has taught me, like, we have to have that tough skin, because in life, it gets really tough. And as far as home life, one of my hardest struggles, a lot of people think it's just me losing Kaden as a daughter, which it really was. It was definitely a breaking point for me, but also, that's not the one thing that defines me. As Jessica was saying, we're going through different seasons in life, and I go through a lot of trials that people don't see. And as far as like health-wise, with children, trying to make the right decisions for them, in your marriage, being single is hard, being married is hard, and they say choose your heart. And so, it's just a growing experience for sure in all the different areas of your life.
Well, you homeschool as well, right?
Yes, I do. I homeschool all 3 of them. They do Branson School online. So.
And then you work at?
I work at the shop, yeah. My kids are with me 24/7.
So and then doing ministry because you pastor?
Yeah, we do the youth, which is really hard, because you feel like you're split in so many different areas of your life. And you feel like you pour in one area and then you feel like you're not fulfilling another area. So then you begin to feel like a failure because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm pouring all my time in this and I'm neglecting this. So trying to find the rhythm of both being an owner, a mother, a wife, a ministry. You sometimes feel like you're drowning, but you got to realize that there's help that you could reach out for.
So, Allie, how has faith helped you overcome your obstacle with home life, church, ministry, work?
Well, our faith in God is our foundation, right? Like when we give our lives to Christ, it's not like he gives us like magically more time to be able to do all the things. Like, we don't get more time than everybody else. We always get the same amount of time. But I think once you realize that salvation is free, then you have a little bit more grace for yourself, because Jesus has grace for us. Obviously, when we were not our best, we were not the strongest, the best version of ourselves, but then yet he's constantly changing us. So I think you learn grace from our faith in Jesus Christ. So.
Yes, a lot of people out there wants to correct, discipline, judge, do all this stuff, but our goal in life here is to shepherd, to help, to rescue. Your husband's a firefighter. He goes out there and rescues people's lives, and it's just like shepherding, because we are rescuing, and we don't ask them what they did, where they came from, their background. You just go in to save lives. And as pastors and as children, you've learned to have to love unconditionally, and then also love ourselves unconditionally. And I think that's the key, because we walk with a lot of false expectations sometimes, and we try to be Superman and we're not, And so I think it's hard to balance that emotionally and spiritually.
Yeah.
Right. Chandra, what balance? How do you balance marriage?
It's about learning to take time for each other, trying to balance everything out. Like I was talking about earlier, is finding that rhythm. You got to make sure that you're spending as much time with your family first, because you can't pour out of an empty cup. And when you are with family and you are together pouring into each other, then you could bring it out and be able to pour into the ministry as well. Because then if you're not pouring into each other first, then when you come to the church, it's crazy, because a lot of people think, oh, you guys are really close, but like we were saying, everybody has a different schedule, and having that time together, we take that very delicately and stuff. So yeah,
Jessica, how do you balance like your personal struggles and different things that you go through, like with marriage, family, teaching, because all that?
Mm-hmm. It is very hard, and I could say that that's probably one of right now is probably a hard season for me to walk through personally, just because I'm finding myself becoming more busy. And it's something that I don't like. So trying to find that balance is a big struggle. So I think the best thing that I could do for myself is finding out what are some things that I can take a step back on to fulfill like what God needs me to do. How can I cater to my family better? Like we just talked about, our family is our first ministry. So we cannot serve others without serving ourselves and our family first. So I think finding that balance where in recognizing what you need to take a break from is really important.
Yeah, it's like when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else in the future. And so it's always hard to make those decisions, and sometimes you have to take a step back and say, this has not been serving me or my family well, and we need to step away from this for a season or for good.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think people misunderstand ministry and family, because you can have it all. It's just knowing not to do things out of false expectation. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because we've got a call. We got a ministry that all of us have within us, and it becomes easy to do with that kind of mantle. But when other people put other things on your plate that is really not yours, you're just trying to people please, I think that's where we start getting in trouble. And that's where we start losing the balance. That's when we start losing the balls, like you're trying to catch them all, and then you throw another ball in there that wasn't even yours. It was just something someone else wanted you to do, and you didn't really feel even God calling you to. You were just being people pleasing. You got to be careful with that in all of us, because in rescuing or in teaching, we want everybody to have a part, but sometimes we're just not called to certain things. This is that go through things like we're saying, and the people pleasing thing, and because you guys are children's PK kids living in a glass house, sometimes you are expected to do things that, and then you feel betrayed. That's kind of where we're going. You know what I mean? Or you feel you poured out everything and there was no return. You know,
Right.
because there's people that are just takers, and they say they come like twins, give me and give me more, you know, and you can never feed that hole. So you got to realize where you're throwing your rope to rescue, or are you having a relationship? And that's hard, relationship in church. You know, people say, well, the world is easier to have a relationship with, but in reality, the church is a hospital, and we're here to rescue people. And we do find relationships there, but if they leave, then it leaves us broken.
Right.
And it's very shattering for the family and in ministry.
Yeah.
Other people don't feel that because they're not in the ministry, because they can leave, you can't.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to have tough skin. Like, I don't think anybody really talks about how tough it is to be in ministry sometimes, because you have to take the blame for things that aren't even your fault. You have to have no, shame basically, or no embarrassment. Like, you have to just get up there and try things that are probably not going to work. But at the end of the day, the Holy Spirit leads you and guides you, and you just step out onto the water. And even if you wind up sinking, at least you stepped out of the boat and you tried.
You know, the whole thing is try, even though we fail,
Yeah.
we tried failing. I mean, we didn't
Yeah.
try to fail, but we're, then you can say, okay, that don't work, laugh it off, and let's do something different and alter. Just like, a family, you can't divorce your siblings, you can't leave them. And you as PK kids, you can't do that because we are a family.
Right.
And so it's tough. There's some tough things that we have gone through as a family, and in ministry. There's some blessings too. What are some of the blessings that we've had, Chandra?
Man, meeting a lot of amazing people, seeing us go from, I remember when we first came, we were on Pine, then we went to Kingston, and now we're on Elizabeth. So seeing the growth of the church and different types of buildings, that's always been a blast too. So yeah, that would be mine.
So Jessica, what do you think people misunderstand about ministry and family?
I think something that they misunderstand is that they need to be served first. The people need to be served first before our family needs to be served. So, and I truly believe that our family is our first ministry. So pouring into each other, grounding in each other more than, and the better we do that, the better you're going to be able to serve our community. So
And you'll do it happy. You could do it more happy. If your life is falling apart, you have nothing to give because you're wounded warrior.
Yeah, and that's scriptural, right? Like it says, I think in Timothy, I'll have to look it up, but it's like, God says that if you can't preach to other people and then have your own household not be saved.
Mm-hmm.
So
a misconception, I think, is that they think that serving your family is less spiritual than serving others first. And I think serving your family is
come on. Yeah,
first.
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's spiritual is body, mind, soul, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be whole.
Mm-hmm.
Just like your physical body, you also need to be healthy. I mean, that. You've been through a lot of health issues.
Yeah.
You can't even be a good wife if you can't get up in the morning or be a good mother if you're falling apart. So you've done some things in your life to change that as well.
Yeah, I have. It's definitely been a battle, especially because, first I had to ask God to help me because everybody wants to have something to say because you're either too big, too small, or not enough for someone or somewhere out there. But yeah, it's just like being in your Word of God, it's a daily decision that you have to make, and it's the same with your health. It's a daily decision. It doesn't make it easy, but it's definitely worth it for sure.
Well, Galatians 6:9 says, let us not become weary in doing good, for all the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. The Bible verse reminds us to never give up, have hope, and realize that there will be fruit for our labor. So we want to thank you all for joining us today in our very first episode of Conquering Moments.
Yay, this is a conquering moment right here, right now.
We pray that conversations remind you that no struggle is wasted and every season has a purpose. And so I want to see you next Thursday. Tune in at 7 o'clock. We'll have a new guest speaker with us, and we'll be discussing family and ministry, the struggles and the blessings. See you then.